The top 10 class setups for Modern Warfare 2 are here, and I figure it's about time for an updated class setups video, especially with the CDL Moshpit and raid play coming early next year. And before we get into class number 1, leave a like and a sub down below if you enjoy. And let's start with the M4 class right here. The attachments I'm using are on screen right here. I have two different iterations of this class. This one has the high velocity bullets. One of the GAs for the M4 is that you always have to be using the high tower 20 barrel, and we're going to go and use that anyway. So we have bullet velocity, damage range, recoil control, and hipfire accuracy increase. The X10 Havoc muzzle for horizontal and vertical recoil control. Like I said earlier, the high velocity ammunition for increased bullet velocity, the Seiken grip down here for recoil control, and I'll hide my camera for the demo elite factory stock for aiming stability and recoil control. That is the M4 class right there. It beams. I have a ton of fun with it. Try it out for yourselves. I believe tuning is currently GA'd. You'll see later on in the video with my favorite classes, I do tune a little bit, but for now, mess with it if you want to. I'm not personally on this M4 class. For the rest of this class, I am running the knife. If you want to swap that out for a pistol, I would do the P890 or the X12, and I'll have a class for the X12 a little bit later. Typical lethals and tacticals for the CDL mode. Flash is going to be banned. Use it while it's OP, I guess, but if you want to play like the pros, use a stun. Either frag or simtex, depending on what map and what nade spots you're throwing. In terms of the perk package, I only go between double time bomb squad fast hands or double time bomb squad focus if I'm using the sniper. Fast hands is just important to get those nade spots out, throw the trophies if you're playing a variant or want to put trophies down and search and destroy. I'd maybe mess around with battle harden, and I will probably end up adding a battle harden and bomb squad class for when I'm playing in hardpoint or control or something like that. So that's something y'all can mess around with depending on the game mode. And truthfully, only going between dead silence and trophy system depending on your playstyle. The current GA list is that there are only 2 trophy systems allowed anyways, so I would get in the habit of running dead silence on most of your classes. Class number 9 is the iteration of the M4 that I was talking about earlier. Very similar to the previous one, except we are changing out the underbarrel to the Shark Fin 90 and the muzzle to the Castle Comp. A lot of these muzzles are very similar, and these iterations and classes are generally from different pro players that I've seen. The reason for the shark fin barrel is that aiming idle stability. From what I've heard, the gun sway in this game happens as you're shooting as well. So if you improve the idle stability on your gun, it should in turn help with your recoil control. That's why you might see the shark fin around a good bit. But anyways, for the rest of the class, like I said earlier, the Seiken grip for that recoil control, the demo precision elite factory for recoil control as well, a high tower 20 barrel because you have to use that, but also for bullet velocity and damage range, Castle Comp for recoil control, and the Shark Fin, like I said, for the idle sway. Of the 2 M4 classes that we've shown, I do prefer this one, but try it both and find your preference. And don't be afraid to tune if they end up allowing it in the CDL Moshpit or range play. Now we're getting into the good stuff. This is class number 8, the TAC 56, aka the Scar. I have 2 versions here. This first one I've gotten from some pro streams. Essentially what we do right here is the 14.5 Tundra Pro barrel for damage range, hipfire accuracy, bullet velocity. Komodo heavy, we'll use this a lot later for horizontal recoil control. The F-Tac Ripper, one of my favorite underbarrels for aiming idle stability, hipfire accuracy, and recoil stabilization. The demo clean shot grip for the sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed, make it nice and fast. And then the X-Line Pro stock for crouch movement speed, sprint speed, and aim down sight speed. We have talked about this previously, but crouch movement speed is huge in this game, especially when you're waiting on Deady, playing search and destroy. You're going to have to crouch walk around the map. And if you can do that faster, then power to you. I've messed around with tuning on this. I'm not confident enough in my knowledge on tuning to show you guys, so mess around with that however you see fit. Class number 7, my second TAC 56 class. This one I do enjoy a lot more. I take off the stock. Apparently I take back what I said about crouch movement speed, but the rest of the class is worth it, I promise. Demo clean shot grip for the sprint to fire and aim down sight speed. 5.56 high velocity. For whatever reason, I feel like the addition of this ammunition type makes the gun beam. It just hits different with that. So try that alongside the 14.5 Tundra Pro barrel, also for bullet velocity and damage range. Phase 3 grip, a very consistent grip. This will be used a lot as well. And then the Komodo heavy, both of these for helping out the recoil control. Class number 6, before we actually get into my favorite SMG, we're going to the snipe. We got to get that over with. This is my current sniper class. It does not follow gentleman's agreement, so if you technically want to be a pro player, go the pro route, don't use this class. The gentleman's agreement for the sniper is actually to take all the attachments away. But my current best sniper class, the one that I use in my wagers, is this one right here. We start with the FSS Merc stock. For crouch movement speed, like we talked about earlier, sprint speed, and aim down sight speed. The only negative is recoil control. We don't care about that since it's a one-shot sniper in the first place. The Cronin Cheetah grip to make it faster as well. Sprint to fire and aim down sight speed. The Cronin 0P optic to increase the ADS speed as well, and it also has a very small sniper glint. I mean, this class is just ridiculous. Makes sense why it's GA'd. I guess I would use this class while you can. The 5-round magazine to also make it faster. and then the 22-inch barrel for bullet velocity and damage range. Trust me on this class. The optics a little bit weird, but once you get used to it, it is so worth it. We need to talk about the X12 as well, the pistol that I use alongside that sniper. We're using the XRK barrel for movement speed and aim down sight speed, the slab comp for horizontal and vertical recoil control, the lightning fire trigger to shoot faster, and the Cronin Lima grip for the fast draw, sprint to fire, and aim down sight speed. No shot, Tristan just said Ligma. You can't make that up. Anyways, that's my sniper class. And now for the top 5, my favorite 5 classes. I love the vaznev 9K as an SMG player at heart. It's a ton of fun. What the pro players actually use is only 3 attachments for the Vaz, and it's very simple. The LOCHShot KT85 for horizontal and vertical recoil control, the True Tack grip down here to make the gun nice and fast, and then the Ultrazat stock for aim walking speed and sprint speed. Very simple, nothing much to this gun. This isn't my favorite class for the Vaz. We'll get into that a little bit later, but if you want to play with the pros, this is how to do so. Class number 4, a different iteration of the Vaz. There's a S&D star that I watch very consistently that uses this version of the class. Instead of the muzzle, what they do is run the SA Response 3 barrel. They get the recoil control from there instead of the muzzle. It also adds some bullet velocity and damage range. They keep the same Ultrazat stock like earlier and the True Tech grip to keep the gun moving fast. It's going to be slightly slower with that change in the barrel, but it's not that much, especially when you take the muzzle away. It's a little bit better at middle, and if you're going for long range gunfights, it'll work, but might not be quite as fast up close. Class number 3. This is my Vaz class, the one that I have tested and loved the most. Before you jump into the exact class that the pros use, please give this one a try, trust me. Same True Tech grip, same Ultrazat stock for aim walking speed and sprint speed. However, we add the first barrel because I'm crazy. Technically doesn't even have the stats up there, but you gotta trust me on it. And then the AVR T90 comp for horizontal and vertical recoil control. I'm confident enough in this class that I'll show the tuning. For the AVR T90 comp, aim down sight speed, gun kick control. For the CAS barrel, recoil steadiness, aim down sight speed. For the Ultrazat stock, aim down sight speed, aim walking speed. For True Tack grip, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed. For class number 2, it's the same thing as class number 3, except I have a smoke and Simtex and then stun and frag. I just love this class enough that I have 2 classes for it, one with trophy, one with Eddie. And class number 1. This one won't be as common, but you'll have a ton of fun with it. It's the LACHMANN sub, aka the MP5. We're only rocking 4 attachments on the sub right now. What we have is the Falcon barrel for movement speed and aim down sight speed without a terrible reduction in bullet velocity recoil control. Operator 4 grip for hipfire recoil control and hipfire accuracy. LACHMANN TCG rear grip for recoil control. And then the FT mobile stock. I'll hide my camera so that you guys can see the whole thing. The FT mobile stock for crouch movement speed, aiming stability, aim down sight speed. Try out the MP5. It's going to be fun. Have a good time with it. That's what these classes are for anyways. And those are my top 10 classes. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.